Welcome to Learn PTE HUB. I'm Sidhu, and I'm here to help you ace your PTE exam. Whether you are just starting your PTE journey or looking to boost your score, you've come to the right place. On this channel, you'll find comprehensive lessons, expert tips, and practical strategies to master every section of the PTE exam. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's get started and conquer the PTE together.
On the 27th of April 2020, China's Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development issued a notice that introduced measures to, in its own words, further strengthen the management of urban and architectural features. The document, which we've translated from its original Chinese, restricts the blind planning and construction of super high-rise skyscrapers and states that new buildings over 500 metres in height are not allowed to be built. The notice also heavily restricts the construction of any buildings over 250 metres in height, except where absolutely necessary, and where permission is granted, those towers will be subject to intense reviews by the firefighting, earthquake and energy-saving authorities. In addition, local governments are now required to tighten the approval process for towers taller than 100 metres, protect natural areas and historic buildings, and appoint chief architects to ensure that any new architecture better represents Chinese culture. The policy also bans plagiarised or copycat architecture, a controversial and head-turning trend which has seen a number of the world's most famous buildings replicated across China in recent years.
Coal is a black or dark brown combustible rock made primarily of carbon. It was formed millions of years ago when ferns, plants, and trees died and fell into swamps. The swamp conditions prevented the organisms from decaying completely, and after millions of years of intense heat and pressure, coal was formed. Coal is classified into four main types or ranks based on carbon and heat content: lignite, subbituminous, bituminous, anthracite. The general rule is that the higher the grade of coal, the cleaner it burns and the more versatile its uses. Coal is extracted from the earth through underground mining or surface mining. The choice of mining method is largely determined by the geology of the coal deposit and its distance from the surface. Underground mining currently accounts for a larger share of world coal production than surface mining. Coal can be burned for heating or to produce electricity. To convert thermal coal to electricity, it is first milled to a fine powder, which increases the surface area and allows it to burn more quickly. The hot gases and heat energy produced from combustion converts water into steam to run a turbine and generator. High-quality coal is also a useful raw material. For example, it can be converted to coke for steel making. Coal can also be converted to liquid or synthetic gas by advanced chemical processes, making it a possible but costly replacement for natural gas or liquid fuels for transportation.
To start with, we need to understand why we age in the first place. Aside from the existential dread it may cause, aging is a complex process whereby there is a progressive loss of the body's ability to maintain itself. Your body runs on finely tuned chemical machinery, proteins, and the cell's instruction manual, DNA. Like all machinery, proteins break, malfunction, and accumulate errors over time. Highly reactive chemicals called free radicals are produced by metabolism and through exposure to the environment, such as UV rays. They can damage proteins and DNA. To prevent this, cells constantly maintain order and cleanliness. The cell's maintenance mechanisms repair damaged DNA, discard old proteins, and signal the cell to make new proteins. Eventually, the cell becomes too damaged and cannot work anymore. The body makes more cells to replace these old ones. However, cells have an internal limit, defined by their DNA, on how many times they can divide, meaning that we can't keep creating new cells forever. Over time, with fewer new cells to replace old ones, and with the damage piling up, it becomes difficult to maintain our youth. This is part of what leads to the physical manifestations of old age, as well as some common diseases, such as cancer and diabetes. So, logically, if we could have more young cells and maintain our existing cells better, we wouldn't get as sick and broken down when we're older.
In the 1940s, the historically questionable Austrian ethologist named Konrad Lorenz set out to expose the mystery of cuteness. He looked at babies from all over the animal kingdom and came to one conclusion: the Kindchen schema, or baby schema. According to Lorenz, there are a set of features that our brains read as cute. These include a large rounded head, a big forehead, large eyes, chubby cheeks, a rounded body, and soft, elastic skin. Evolutionary biologists working on Lorenz's baby schema thought that these cute traits and our response to seeing cute babies might have an evolutionary purpose. To see whether the baby schema was really necessary to make something cute, in 2009, a group of researchers at the University of Pennsylvania showed 122 undergraduates pictures of babies. They then asked them to rate the cuteness of the babies and how motivated the students would be to care for the baby. The researchers manipulated the babies' faces so that some followed the baby schema more closely than others. They found that those babies' faces that matched the schema were rated as cuter than those who didn't. Furthermore, the subjects were more inclined to care for the infants that were rated as cuter. Our need to care for our cute infants gives them a better chance of surviving to a reproductive age. Without adults caring for infants, especially in those species whose infants take longer to become self-sufficient, such as human beings, the survival chances of the species would be bleak.
Steam is water that's heated to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Believe it or not, steam is invisible. You can see right through it. If you look closely at the end of your kettle's spout, you'll notice that the white stuff doesn't start right away. It begins billowing about a half-inch away from the nozzle with clear gas in between. The clear gas is the actual steam. The billowy white stuff is what the steam turns into when it hits the drier, cooler air of your kitchen. Those white billows are in fact clouds, not steam. In many ways, they are identical to the clouds you can see in the sky. The white color comes from tiny liquid water droplets that have condensed from the steam. More accurately, these billows are a type of cloud called a mixing cloud. These can form when two separate air masses with different temperatures and different amounts of water in them mix together. In the case of your kettle, the hot steamy gas cools rapidly in the kitchen air, and this sudden coolness is what makes some of the vapor condense. Mixing clouds are pretty common, and they don't need to start with steam. You see mixing clouds when you see your breath on a cold winter day. You'll find them rising from a bowl of warm soup. Wherever there's a mixing cloud, you can bet some warm, moist air is mixing with air that's cooler and drier.
If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more PTE-related content. Don't forget to leave a comment below letting me know what you think, or if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. I will meet you soon at our next video.